Hi, welcome to what is a SSAS pension and how business owners can use them. This is part one where we'll go through the basics of SSAS pensions. My name's Ian Welsh. I'm the director of ICW Property Group. I'm also the host of SSAS Northwest Networking Group based in Manchester. Also an independent business and SSAS consultant. Just to confirm, this is not financial advice, this is purely for information, guiding you through what a SSAS pension is. So let's get involved. So SSAS pension, the SSAS stands for a small self-administered pension scheme. It's open to small and medium-sized companies. They start their own pension scheme. Normally the directors of the company would do this. The scheme is linked to one or multiple companies. In our case, I have 3 companies and we've linked all 3 companies to the sponsoring they're called sponsoring companies. There you go. That's the first screw up of the presentation. You can link multiple companies to the SSAS. They're called sponsoring companies. You can have one or several. You can have up to a maximum of 11 members. They're called trustees. Not normal to have 11 members. Things can get very complicated with investments, but normal, I think the average is 3 people, a couple of company directors, maybe family members that are involved in the company. Must be employed by the company or companies. You must be receiving a salary from that company. There's no provider for a SSAS. The trustee, yourself, you're responsible for that SSAS pension. That's a big responsibility. You need to consider that before starting and getting involved with SSAS pensions. You do have a scheme administrator, a corporate trustee. They help you guide through the rules of HMRC. We strongly recommend you do get an administrator and you interview several administrators before you decide on which one is aligned with you and your goals. You don't have to have an administrator, but HMRC rules are quite vague and I would suggest you get one, because navigating those rules can be very difficult. You get tax relief on your SSAS pension. So with like a normal pension, you get tax relief. Currently it's 2023, so it's up to £60,000 per annum per trustee, and you get it provides protection from inheritance tax. So that's one of the legacy planning things that you'll find is a bonus with SSAS. Currently, it's an unlimited fund balance. It used to be just over £1 million. It's now an unlimited fund balance. As I say, it's 2023. If Labour gets in at the next election, they have said they will reduce that unlimited to a capped amount again. What that will be, I don't know. So that's worth checking depending on when you're viewing this video. Small self-administered pension schemes are not regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA. So you don't have protection like you would with a normal pension. So if you make investments and those investments go wrong, you have limited protection, and it's not by the FCA. They are regulated by the pensions regulator. HMRC oversee the rules, and the Information Commission oversee data. You do have access to the pension ombudsman, so you do have recourse. You can raise issues with them. Why would I want a SSAS pension? Take control of you and your family's future. It's quite legacy planning can be part of that. Myself, don't have any children, but I'm taking control of my pension. I believe I'll get better returns making the investments I do. I'm going to grow my pension. I also use it in conjunction with our companies. In part 2, we'll go through some of the options. You can use loan backs and various things to help finance your company. That's in part 2. You can transfer an existing pension into your SSAS. So if you've worked for an old company, in my case I worked for the electric board, and an old pension just sat there and it had done quite well. So when I started a SSAS, I transferred that pension into my SSAS. All of your SSAS stays with your family if the worst happened. So with a normal pension, if the worst happened, you died, only half would go to your wife normally, and none of it would go to your children. So with a SSAS pension, it's a trust, so it transfers down your family, you would nominate people of where that pension would go to, and it stays completely with the people nominated, so it doesn't disappear to a big faceless company. It's part of legacy planning for future generations. As I say, I don't have children, but if you've got families, you can start a SAS pension now, do well with it, create wealth going forward and pass it through the generations, giving your children just a better start in life, I suppose. You can use your pension to help grow your business today. Obviously a normal personal pension, you can't do that. We go through some of the ways you can do that in part 2, but using your pension, using that money today to help grow your business, that's amazing. What can I do with a SAS? Well, all investments allowed with personal pensions, so you're not missing out on anything. You can lend to your company, back to your company, 50% of the fund value. Again, we'll go through this in part 2, but that's really powerful in helping your business grow. You can lend to fellow investors. If people come along with an investment, you can lend to them. Obviously, we'd advise getting the security in place. That's key. You can buy commercial property within the SAS. This is what SSASs have been used for in the past. So if you're paying rent, your commercial premises, you're paying rent to a landlord, your SAS could purchase and hold that property within the SAS, a commercial property. Your company would then pay the SAS the same rent at commercial rates to the SAS. So basically you're taking out your current landlord, just giving an anonymous person some money. You're then giving your rent to your SAS that you can use in the future when you retire. Amazing. You can buy land for development. You can't buy land and just sit on it. You can't land bank, but you can buy land for development. You can buy and invest in specific residential property. This is very complicated. It's normally within the care sector, supported living, things like that. You cannot buy residential property, buy-to-lets, things like that, but you can buy residential property that's used for specific uses in the care sector. Quite complicated. Your SAS administrator will be able to help with that. You can buy derivatives, options, futures, CFDs, ETFs. You can go into foreign exchange. You can also leverage your SAS. So you could get a mortgage on a commercial property up to the value of 50% of the SAS. You can buy stocks and shares, plus lots of other options. What you can't do with a SAS, this is quite key, you can't break the rules. That's a big one. That's why you have an administrator. They will guide you through what you can and can't do. But not all administrators see the rules the same. So we'll come on to, you need a plan. You need to know what you're going to do with your SAS beforehand to pick the right administrator to help you fulfill your plans for the SAS. You can't take benefits other than specified. So you can't take your pension. You can't just dip in and out of the pot before retirement, your specified retirement age. You can't directly purchase residential property. So you can't purchase within the SAS a buy-to-let. You can't buy your own house and live in it. All these things, you will get a massive tax charge by HMRC if you actually buy residential property within the SAS. You can't lend to yourself or any connected parties, family members, things like that. You can't lend it to yourself. You can loan it back to your company, but your company is a separate legal entity. It's not you. Buy assets deemed taxable. So classic cars, there's a good example. They're seen as an investment for some people. You can't do that. Generally, if it moves, you can't buy it. You need to keep good records. Your SAS administrator, again, they will help you with that or do that for you. You can't become unfit to be a trustee. Can't go bankrupt. Criminal convictions, things like that, that will impede your ability to be a SAS trustee. You can't commit or be party to pension liberation fraud. That goes back to kind of point 2. You can't liberate your pension before you're due that pension. So you can't take advantage of the funds personally before your retirement age. You must act with prudence, commerciality and security. Prudence is if you take your old pension, transfer it into a SAS and go and invest it all in Bitcoin, that's not prudent. That's a highly risky investment. So that's not prudent. You would be penalised for that. Commerciality, you need to be commercial. So if you're making a loan to a third party, you can't just do it for 1% return when the bank rates are 5.5%. That would be deemed uncommercial and not allowable. Basically, you'll get a fine for that. Also, security. So if you're making a loan to someone, you need some kind of security that's going to, in the outcome of there's a problem with the loan, you're going to recall the security in. Very much like a mortgage works, mortgage on commercial property, things like that. How do I start a SSAS pension? Well, you need to start with the end in mind. You need a plan. You need to know how you're going to invest that SSAS pension. Initially, plans change and they develop. You might need the help of a financial advisor. I would highly recommend that. They will help you draw up a plan of how the future looks for you. And that helps you with, are you looking for security now, or when you retire, you're looking to secure your family's future with legacy planning, loads of different things, and they'll help you open your mind to that as well. They also will help you create a plan that you need to have in place if you're transferring a pension into the SSAS over the value of £30,000. You need to find a managing trustee that's aligned with your goals, going back to what I said before. It's very important. HMRC rules, everyone interprets them all differently. Little quirks all over the place of you can do that investment, you can't do that investment. It's important to know what you're going to do with the SSAS and then go and interview several managing trustees, find out who you click with, who's on your page, and you can work with them. You must have a trading company, so not a sole trader. You've got to have a limited company, LLP, things like that, a legal entity company. You also need to be able to show that it's trading. You can't have a shell company. It needs to be trading, and you need to be drawing earnings from that company, and you need to show at least normally 3 months. You can apply to start a SSAS with your managing trustee. HMRC grant SSASs normally within 8 to 12 weeks, but it can vary, sometimes a bit quicker, sometimes a bit later. You must have a plan, as mentioned before. That is the big thing. You've got to know what you're going to do. You can transfer an existing pension into a SSAS. This can take a great deal of time, energy. Many pension companies will make this very difficult, but it is your money. As I say, over £30,000 in an external pension, you'll need to take financial advice and get a plan and get that signed off by the current pension holding company. It is your money. They will make it very difficult for you to transfer it, and this is what takes the time. There's a bit of confusion around this. Actually setting up a SSAS normally takes 8 to 12 weeks, so quite quick. But transferring a pension in, when I did it back in early 2018, it took me 6 months. That was quick. I know people it has taken 2 years. So starting a SSAS is fairly quick. Getting an external pension to transfer into it can be quite cumbersome and take a lot of energy. You just need to keep going. But as soon as you've started a SSAS with HMRC, you can make contributions up to £60,000 per annum per trustee. So if you've got a company with excess profits, you start a SSAS, you can drop those excess profits straight into the SSAS. You can make an unallocated contribution of up to 500k. This takes an awful lot of planning and it can be very complicated. But this is ideal for somebody who's building a business or is growing several businesses and looking for an exit in maybe 3-4 years' time. They're going to have an abundance of money come in at once. That then can be set in the unallocated contribution side of your SSAS. Also, one thing I've not mentioned there is when it says make contributions of 60k per annum per trustee, you can backdate that 3 years. So that's quite powerful as well. If you've got a big windfall 1 year, you can get rid of your tax or offset. Don't say get rid of it. You can offset a lot of tax by backdating that up to 3 years. So I hope that's been useful. This is part 1. Part 2, we'll go through some examples of how you might use it, mainly in property. It's very powerful in property. But as I say, my name's Ian Welsh. I do run a consultancy business for people looking at SSAS. We have a program, set program, SSAS Pensions, Thinking to Running. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you to the web page, find out a lot more information. And I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you in part 2. Thank you.